What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts. Hey man, y'all been showing out for your boy. I cannot complain and I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all turn up on this one too. Like, sub if you haven't already. I appreciate y'all once again. Anyway, this is going to be my conspiratorial episode. I have a couple of conspiracies that I want to get off, so I figured I'd share them with y'all and we could discuss it in the comment section. First conspiracy, one that I spoke on when I very first started this channel. Parks is in cahoots with Joe and Ian as far as ownership of the JBP or JBN is concerned. The reason I say this, why is it that Parks is the only one that can play moderator and moving the podcast along? Even Joe subsides whenever Parks initiates a segue or whenever Parks gets everyone to hush up, because he does that often. Why is the reason behind that? How does Parks have so much power? And I understand that he is an audio engineering genius, because when I play the JBP in my car, that shit sounds amazing. When I play it at the crib, that shit sounds amazing. It doesn't matter where you play it at. Headphones, AirPods, does not matter. It sounds great. Parks is great at what he does. But because of that, that's the only reason he has as much power he has? I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. And in my initial assertion of this, I was wrong, because I said Parks had full autonomy just like Joe did of the JBP the whole time. I believe it happened when Rory and Mal made their exit. That's when Parks became an official quote-unquote partner in the JBP. That's my first conspiracy. Conspiracy number 2, and this one we're running rampant with in the Patreon comments and just the JBTV community and all the JBP communities out there on all the different social media feeds. Ish does not like Mel. That is correct. But the reason behind Ish not liking Mel isn't because of his lady. It's because of Mandy. How come we've never put 2 and 2 together? Mandy and Mel have real problems because Mandy doesn't look at Mel as a podcaster. Mandy looks at Mel as an influencer, and there's a huge difference. Mandy believes that Mel has the cachet that she has solely because of her history as a celebrity. And in celebrity, I use that word very loosely. And Mel just doesn't respect Mandy or really any other woman in any sphere that she's in. If you've noticed her track record, Mel don't fuck with none of these women. Not at all. So Ish, being the loyal, quote-unquote loyalist that he is gonna side with Mandy over Mel, and that is fucking with their cohesion on the podcast. He's gotten a little bit better as far as interacting with Mel again, but that's why I think he doesn't like Mel. I don't think it has anything to do with his home life, even though he has hinted that his girl is up and that she makes a lot of decisions in their household, although he can seemingly wear the pants still, according to him. Conspiracy number 3. Joe can't fire Flip because Flip has value. Real value, though. He keeps speaking on it, and you know when Joe speaks in a joking manner that he's trying to get it off as a joke. Haha, he is funny. Everybody laugh. But I believe every time he tells a joke, he's telling the motherfucking truth. That's how he genuinely feels. So he's saying he's not firing Flip, and he saw Flip on his last suspension go crazy and add more value to his podcast. So why would Joe want to keep Flip on his podcast? We reach 2 totally different demographics, and I keep trying to tell people this. That's the reason why Mel was supposed to be on in the first place, because she was supposed to bring whatever demographic followed her towards Joe to exceed the numbers so he can sell off the network. I keep telling y'all this. But because Mel didn't do what she was supposed to do, and Flip is far exceeding what he was supposed to do, I can't let you go yet, nigga. How are you going to constantly speak on this nigga's insubordination, yet this nigga still has a place on your platform? And not only does he have a place on your platform, he has, in essence, what would have been the mall chair. He sit dead in the middle. You think that's by accident? You think Imani's always to the side by accident? You think Ice is further to the side by accident? The only reason Ish isn't in that middle chair is because he's old, and I'm sure his back would be fucked up. He'd fuck his whole posture up. So he said, nah, I'm against it. So he needed the dynamics of Flip. But anyway, y'all ain't trying to hear what I'm saying towards that, because y'all think Flip is just an imbecile and on here for no reason. Y'all can't figure out why he's on here. Yeah, every time he does anything, we speak on Flip. Conspiracy number 4 or 5. I think it's number 4. Ice. I think Joe is going to let go of Ice. I think Ice is going to be the first. If Joe were to fire someone, it would be Ice. He's starting to speak on this friendships hold no value to him when it comes to business. He's starting to have this conversation a lot again. And he's starting to have it a lot on the podcast again. Why is that? I keep telling y'all, Joe is a manipulative nigga. He's very good at diversion. When he's saying something that may sound salacious, or it may sound like, damn, this is negative as hell, I hope he's not directing this towards me, he always directs it towards somebody else. And he just did it on the Patreon episode. He was getting mad at Flip, saying, I don't know why niggas keep associating friends and business as if they're one and the same. And he was getting off on Flip's ass, and he tried to make it seem like it was over a car charger that he's using when he was at work but not working. And I don't think that's that big of a deal, because niggas charge their cars at work all the time. But at the same time, I don't think Joe thinks it's that big of a deal. But he is saying this for a reason. And the wrong people aren't paying attention. So Ice, hopefully your ears perked up when he said this, nigga. And you've already seen why do you think he goes at Ish as much as he does? And hopefully Ish knows this. And sometimes I feel he does, most times I feel he doesn't. The reason he goes at Ish the most is because Ish is the strongest out of all his co-hosts. Whenever you attack someone, what do they always tell you whenever you attack a group of people? You attack the head. When it comes to, I can make a sports analogy. When it comes to trying to get your whole team to fall in accord, who do you go after? You coach your star player the hardest, so everyone else falls in line. Okay, but in this case, he was directing it to Flip, with everyone else hopefully listening and paying attention to what it is that he's saying. So yeah, that's my 4th conspiracy. Ice is going to be the first one Joe actually fires. Not quit, not has another venture and goes off on their own volition. And shout out to TNT for correcting me. I used to say fruition all the time. Not on their own volition, but fire. Anyway, conspiracy number 5. I think Rory and Joe are going to make up. I think they're going to make up. They're at the brink of that part of the reconciliation where you get all your shit off your chest. You let everyone around you know you do not fuck with them. You start saying what it is that you need to say and get off your chest. And I feel like Rory's in that mode right now. The fact that they're still hanging out with each other's friends and Joe doesn't get pissed off anymore. Joe has said it himself. He's always going to have somewhat of a soft spot in his heart for Rory. But I'm going to tell you why Rory is in his fuck Joe bag right now. Rory is a father now. And he's a first-time father. And they always say what happens to the mom after she has a baby, but they never speak on what happens to the men and their emotions and how they change and how they react to things after they have a baby for the first time. So wait till Rory's daughter or son, I believe he has a daughter though, wait till his child is 4 or 5 years old. You will see a reconciliation between Joe and Rory, because Joe did way too much for Rory in this industry and vice versa. Joe is going to always have a soft spot in Rory, or in his heart for Rory, because he knows this podcast would not be what it is without him. And quiet as kept, Roy knows the exact same thing. There's no Rory and Maul without Joe Budden. Period. So I expect a reconciliation out of them. Conspiracy number 6. This one might be salacious, so I'm just gonna say it. I think there's a love triangle going on at the JBP. And Ish is not involved, but Ish has peep game, which is why he is treating Melissa the way he is. I think Melissa is fucking Imani, like on a regular, and I think Melissa and Joe are on the brink of fucking or have fucked. And I'm not gonna get too deep into that one, but this is a conspiratorial episode, so I'm getting my conspiracies off. Allegedly. Anyway, the last conspiracy of this particular episode. I think Ian is Ice's manager. After Hovain passed away, who did Ice employ? And why is it that Ice is receiving the same information that Joe was receiving? Flip let it slip early on that Ian was his manager. I think Ice is employed or managed by Ian as well. And quiet is kept, if Melissa, or if it comes out that Melissa's podcast is underneath the JBN, then I will have it on strong authority to believe that Ian is Mel's manager too. And you know what they say about business. Y'all can't have the same managers in the group. Y'all can't have the same lawyers in the group. So I hope this last conspiracy that I just dropped is all the way fucking wrong. I hope Ice has different management. I hope Mel has different management. And it seems to be working out with Flip because of his management. And that was a smart move on Flip's behalf. If I align with this nigga, he's going to have it in my best interest to make sure we both succeed. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Hey, man, we're going to keep running it up. Make sure y'all follow the Facebook page, Lavelle J. Ellis. Make sure y'all follow the TikTok, B-Ball Elevation. Make sure y'all follow the YouTube page, Basketball Elevation. And make sure you like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the page for more content just like this. Until next time, y'all be safe. Peace.